Namo Buddhaya and a big welcome, dear Dhamma friends, to our Sunday Dhamma sharing. I'm Brother Eric and I'll be your host for today. We are privileged to have with us Bhante Sutadhara, Thera from Sri Lanka as our speaker for today. Let us now bring Bhante Sutadhara online. Suki Hotu Bhante and welcome to our Facebook live page. Let us do an introduction on Bhante Sutadhara. Venerable Tapo Panaye Sutadhara was ordained in 1966 and received his Upasampada in 1978 at Tapo Panaye Buddhist Monastery. Bhante obtained his BA in Tripitaka Kavedi, Buddhist textual study from the Buddhist University, and a BA in linguistics from the University of Kelaniya, Sri Lanka. He also obtained a master from the University of Hawaii, USA. He was a senior lecturer, head of Department of Linguistics and head of English Language Unit at the University of Kelaniya, Sri Lanka. Currently, Bhante is the director of Ventura Buddhist Study Center at Unlock Mission in Ventura, California, USA. He is also the president of Tapo Vanaye International Buddhist Center. Today's topic is the second from our Brahma Vihara series, that is Karuna, compassion. With that, we invite Bhante Sutadhara Thera to deliver today's Dhamma sermon. Bhante.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Dear Dharma friends, it is a great pleasure to meet you virtually from far away, even after so many years. I remember residing as a monk for 1 month, teaching Dhamma at Buddhist Vihara so long ago. But today, I'm very thankful for your invitation to share these Dhamma thoughts from USA. Our topic today is Karuna, the very popularly translated as compassion. I know that your topics, on these few weeks, you are covering the Brahma Viharas, that is in English, 4 sublime virtues. The 4 sublime virtues, the loving kindness, compassion, and altruistic joy or sympathetic joy, equanimity, are 4 together. It's a 4-fold way of living that has been with all human beings. Not only human beings, even it was spread into other beings, because for welfare of society, for well-being of society, anyone has to practice these 4 sublime virtues. And we cannot take one away from the other, because all 4 are practiced together. When you take loving kindness, that is you are mentally always expecting the welfare of everyone, well-being of everyone. Compassion, actually being sensitive, being aware of the others, the suffering, and going out to giving hand to help them and to free them from their suffering. Then when we take the word Karuna, actually, how do we experience it? We know that always we say the Buddha is Mahakaruniko Nath. The Buddha is the great compassionate one. Then the great compassionate one is the Buddha. Well, how do, as human beings, how do we experience this compassion, loving kindness? It's as I mentioned that I cannot separate these four. It's one unit, but we can identify these four as with different functions. Then first, excuse me. I want to just draw your attention to how in this life, as human beings, we experience this compassion. The first experience that we see as grown-ups is that how a mother, our father takes care of her children. Especially the Buddha mentioned that the parents always practice these four sublime virtues towards their own children. Then also when it is it's called Brahma Vihara. When Brahma Vihara, Brahma word has supreme the meaning, that the meaning of word Brahma is supreme. And also there is another meaning that the supreme being in the Brahma world, in the celestial being, the highest celestial world. And then well, even before the Buddha, these people were aware of these four Brahma Viharas, or four sublime virtues, but at a different level. Buddha put it towards enlightenment. That the others were practicing it for different purposes. Actually, it is not just when you take four Brahma Viharas, it's you cannot simply say that there are these Brahma Viharas from this tradition, that tradition, and all that, because for every being to live together, these are essential virtues. These essential virtues, some way, maybe little, maybe more, maybe a greater extent, people practice. Then the earlier the worldview was that okay, at least in the Indian subcontinent, you find that the Brahma created the world. That was the belief then. But Buddha didn't teach it in that way. Then, but people believed that the Brahma, the Supreme Being, as they believed, managed the whole world by practicing these four viharas, or four sublime virtues. That's very interesting. If my question was just not about whether Brahma created the world or not, but if Brahma can rule the world with four sublime virtues, why human beings? cannot manage, rule one household or one community by practicing these four. It's I consider this as, well, essentials of human beings, essentials of all beings. That is how, and also when we practice Karuna, try to stick it in, I try to stick myself into this my topic Karuna, but always please remember, Karuna cannot be practiced without the others, um, for the welfare of all. When we take compassion, when we try to free people from suffering, as our practice of compassion, then we cannot discriminate any being, and also any being, as well as for all beings to live happily, we have to have a healthy planet too. So all this environment is also included here. And when I check these four virtues, I always say that, okay, that we can take this as very good management principles. We can say that, by practicing loving kindness, we provide security for people. Because I come with the spirit, with the energy, and then I make other people feel comfortable. I am no harm to you. I don't create any harmful action. And then I am always there to help you when you are in trouble. And also when you are happy, I am very happy. And still, I am, when I give this loving kindness, when I practice compassion, when I am happy about your progress, and at the same time, I understand that you are a separate human being. You have no obligation towards me, and I am not expecting anything from you. Probably as a normal, unenlightened human being, probably I might expect from you that you also practice these four virtues for the well-being of others. Other than that, personally, I don't have any expectation when I practice these four. That if we can create this by practicing loving kindness, we provide this secure environment, and then that secure environment, then also we are there when, if you are in trouble, if you are in any hardship, I am there and give my hand out to pick you up from there, from that suffering. So whatever the way I can, I help you. And also, as I earlier mentioned, that I am ready to be very happy. And when you provide that joy, that you are very comfortable, you are progressing, you are doing well in your life as a human being, then I am very happy too. As at the same time, I understand that you are a separate human being with a separate mind, but still I identify your different, your right to be different too. Different in the sense, you may choose different things in that world. You don't have to wear the way that I wear. You don't have to have the same color that I am having, or my hairstyle, or you know that I don't have a hairstyle. My hairstyle is without hair, right? Then that I think this is how we provide this basis to free all human beings, including the person who practices this. That even when I go and, well, if someone is in trouble, when I help the person, if someone needs something, if I have that resource, I will share it with. And but the other person has no obligation towards me. If I expect something, it becomes a transaction. It is a deal. But when we practice this, we are not going to expect anything. That's when in our life we have experienced these four foundations or four establishments of Brahma Vihara, so the supreme virtues uh, for the well-being of all. And then let us go into this how we try to practice it, and we become generous, right? I know that even uh, since we are well, we all are trying to practice this. We practice generosity. When we practice generosity out of compassion, then for the people who are suffering, if someone is hungry, we go and feed them. There are all Buddhist organizations as well as other religious organizations. Well, in this country, in this city, uh, we go in. We go to a place and feed the homeless. These days, it's very difficult to do, but that's when in the normal situation, it's we do it. But sometimes we have to break the barriers and go out and do it. But sometimes we are unable to do it too. And also, we are not holding, if it is beyond my control, I am not thinking about, and I am not trying to blame myself because I couldn't practice that compassion. That is also there. And when and as earlier mentioned, the Buddha also said that there are real, in the real world, in this world, at home we have two Brahmas or two supreme beings, your mother and father. Your parents practice loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, or altruistic joy, and equanimity towards you. That with that experience, you should live your life practicing those. That's the experiential level at the beginning of our life. But if we have a very bad childhood, a lot of violence, lot of troublesome home environment, still, if we become wise, if we learn from someone else, always there is someone for us to, or someone who comes to us and show their compassion. We have, well, if we don't have parents, if we are living without parents, then there is someone who is doing that parental role in our lives. We always find some mentors, some teachers, mostly for like for Buddhist monks and nuns. They are their own preceptors, their own chief preceptors, the masters, whatever the way we use that acharya, upadhyaya, they they become parents. And the parent role is there. We have mentors who always guide us, who become our guiding stars in our life. So that's the first experience we have. And then our duty is that when we get this compassion from someone else, you don't have to give the same compassion to the person who gave that too. Then there is no obligation, but there is some habit forming in us that it's well, it's spreading that as one if you put a pebble, little rock to a water, big water, water reservoir, lake, you can see that the ripples are going towards the bank of the lake. It's the same way when we practice compassion at one place, it ripples. It will go to the others. It goes with when we see other people doing some compassionate act, maybe it can be a very little action too, but little in the sense that okay, maybe that there is a big fire, and you see that a lot of maybe animals are trying to get out of this fire. Then the fire is so much that you could rescue only few animals, but probably you would think that okay, oh, I couldn't rescue the all animals, so I am not really good enough. But you forget the fact that okay, how those already rescued by you feel like that. That is those animals who could save their life, protect their life with your help. That is all what they had. So that when you practice, when you act as a compassionate person, you shouldn't kind of think that okay, it is very little. Sometimes you are rescuing an ant from water while he was going to drown. That is also compassionate action, right? You said that. I just not only about these animals. How about in our life? There are so many people. Sometimes, people come and help when we are sick, and when we are in trouble, and when we travel. Also, that just uh, how can we practice these kind of things in our life, that those are sometimes looks like little, but it's a nice thing that when we walk into some place, if someone opens the door to us, that is a compassionate action too. In day-to-day life, there are so many little things that we can do to make other people's life easier, better, uh, more comfortable, right? So it's and also even if we think that if we okay, I want to protect everyone's life when I drive on the road, then may no harm come from myself to the others, and also we can expect may no harm come to me from anyone else either. So that with that thoughts, if we go, probably we have more more focus, more attention, more mindfulness there. Then after this, mm, when we look at this compassionate living in the world, uh, I am just checking. Sometimes we just ignore certain things. That when someone walks in, just smile. Just if you can give a smile, if you have nothing else to give, but a smile will make someone's day brighter. A compassionate word, a greeting can make someone's life brighter, because for people, so life is not easy always. Sometimes it is always, and sometimes well, there are good times as well as bad times for people. And there we are supposed to do our duty. And these compassion, loving kindness, all these four sublime virtues are not again. It is not only for a certain group of people, as it is universal, universal virtues. Then how about going further? Okay, we find even in Buddhist scriptures that, even prior to, even before there were Buddhas, there were people practicing these four sublime virtues. In one sutta, Mahagovinda Sutta, in Dignikaya, the long discourses, we find this, the Govinda, Brahmin Govinda, was practicing these four, four sublime virtues. Then, with those, actually, it was a very blissful, very it's wonderful life, that story. And that means during that time there was no Buddha, but but these people practice this loving kindness, compassion, and so on. All. Then also that what we do is that also when we be kind to the others, also that when we show in a form of gratitude, also we can show our kindness, right? Our compassion to others. Then how do we look at these the four sublime virtues, taking compassion as our one of the four? How do we look at it? What happens actually when you practice? When you practice compassion, what is the opposite of it? When we practice compassion, we are taking suffering away from others. But the opposite of compassion is going to be what? If we take away suffering from others by practicing compassion, then what happens? What is the practice of making people suffer? That is violence, right? Well, that is violence, making people suffer. Then by practicing compassion, we are practicing something completely opposite of violence. In this world, how much violence is going on? It's this is not someone to. This is not to put someone on on the spot and say that okay, you are making trouble. You are the troublemaker. You make trouble in the world. No, that's in larger level. Countries are making other people suffering, like larger level. One may go to war, and one may go to different suffering experience as groups, as also as individuals. So, and all the killing is as when we take this violence as completely opposite of compassion, then look at 5 precepts. When we practice 5 precepts, what is happening? It is a compassionate action too, right? Compassionate action to who? These four, all Karuna and all, we are practicing. Are we practicing it for others only, or are we not supposed to practice those to ourselves? No, we are supposed to practice compassion. You are not. It is. We are actually. We have an obligation to practice compassion towards ourselves too, because it starts here. It starts here in the sense that, okay, we learn compassion from our parents, mentors, teachers, colleagues, our siblings, friends, from all other people, from so many people. And then as a person who received compassion, then we cultivate some idea about, okay, I should practice the same thing, making the ripple effect. And then if I am okay, if I am killing someone, I will just take these 5 precepts. If I kill someone, what happens? That it's a loss of life for that person, and loss of lot of things for probably that person is the breadwinner of the family, and the whole family is in suffering. And also, what happens to my mind while when I do that criminal act? Well, my mind completely go away from this compassion, and this sanity, because the sanity is we these days we are very aware, right? And during the time of COVID-19 pandemic, this is well, we see this essential virtues of how it is essential for our life. Actually, the people, uh, when we try to protect others, but by protecting ourselves only, we can protect others in this situation, right? That I just like to share a little story about it. That there was this in one of the little sutras, we find that there is this story the Buddha used that there was an acrobat who was a very talented acrobat who could do a lot of things. You know that acrobats do the things that it's more like superwomen. They do a lot of things. They would go up on sky, and or maybe sometimes one is holding a big pole on just on top of their lip, and someone is going up on the pole and doing a lot of acrobatic exercises. This teacher taught this art to another student, and the student and the teacher was very comfortable there with the student, because student learned everything, and then they were ready to practice. Then the teacher said, well, okay, my student, you know that this is a very risky practice in one way, so that well, when we practice together these acrobatic exercises, well, you protect your partner, and that who is me, then I protect you as my partner. So by protecting the other, we protect ourselves. But the student said something different. The student said that no, teacher, in this game, in this practice, what we do is that when I practice, I protect myself. By protecting myself, I protect you, both myself and you. And I ask you to do the same. You protect yourself. You take care of yourself. Then you take care of me. Because see that this story, that is a very little story, but Buddha, I will come to this later, what Buddha said to us. Then I just take this as a very good way to practice live during this time. You know that we all are aware of uh, what are the rules that we have to follow to protect ourselves and protect others. Protect ourselves and protect others. All this social distancing, hand washing, and wearing mask, wearing face guards, and wearing hand gloves. All these are to protect oneself. But by protecting oneself, you protect the other too. That is how this the compassion works too. And when I give something to the other, the protection, then the other person also gives me protection too. So Buddha's teachings we can summarize into just one sentence, saying that okay, live a life harmless to yourself and harmless to others. Harmless to yourself and harmless to others. When you live a life like that, that means always that we have a very good foundation to develop all these the higher virtues. That well, having said that, I just want to bring what Buddha said about this protecting oneself. By protecting oneself, how you protect the others. Buddha taught the monks and nuns that okay, as the teacher of you, I teach you protect yourself. Okay, and also protect. When you protect yourself, you protect others. Buddha took on the very uh, essential teaching to his disciples, including all of us. Even though he taught it more than 2,500 years ago, it is still our teaching that he taught us. Then he said, okay, you have to develop mindfulness in the body, that is what we call kaya anupasana, and in the feelings of vedana anupasana, and you have to develop mindfulness in your mind, all the mind, and also develop your mindfulness in your thoughts too, and mental properties in including just thoughts. Then all these that practicing, basically what he said was okay, when you when you develop mindfulness in these, then you protect yourself and you protect others. Actually, when we develop this awareness then what happens? And we are well, when we establish mindfulness in this the four uh, awarenesses, then what is that practice? We bring all these eight noble paths into practice, right? And what are the the two out of eight noble path that all the seventh limb and the eighth limb, they are samma sati, the right mindfulness, and samma samadhi, right stillness in your mind. That's this, or we translate it as concentration, and also then that is very important. Taking care of yourself and taking care of others. How do we take care of ourselves? Okay, develop these four foundations of mindfulness. That's just maybe you will have some questions about it, but we can discuss it later. And then when we develop mindfulness in this, when we are watching neutrally what goes on in the body and in our feelings, in our sensations, thoughts, all these, every aspect in one individual's life. Okay, just you sit down and develop it, and then you carry it into other actions in your life. When you walk, when you stand up, when you sleep, when you sleep means when you recline, then you practice. That is how we develop it. When we develop that from in to out, what we develop is also five precepts, or also more than five precepts too. And just take these five precepts as actions of compassion. Also very important. Those five precepts, when we go into that, then earlier mentioned that the opposite to compassion is violence. Well, also, uh, also opposite to violence is compassion, and then we take each one. When we protect our others' life instead of destroying it, then we practice compassion too. And also, then when we protect others' property instead of taking it away, stealing it, we practice again compassion, right? And also when we don't act, we become adulterate person. Adultery is not there. Then we respect our relationships, and then that is also practicing compassion. Compassion to not only to the other person, on compassion to ourselves too. And when we abstain from lying, it is also compassion to ourselves as well as compassion to others. Then when we don't take intoxicants into our body, when we make it our practice, then you directly see the materially, you see that your body is safer, and also your mind is safer. You become more sane, and you are more stable, more grounded, more healthy, stronger person to live a life, and that is for yourself too. And also, when you see that when you are abstaining from all these intoxicants, then how it positively affects your colleagues, your family, your parents, your siblings, That's also there. So then, why do we go into all these harmful actions? Earlier I mentioned that live a life harmless to yourself and harmless to others. And then what is the other part? That in other words, live a life beneficial to yourself and beneficial to others. If I live a life only beneficial to me, if everything should be there only for me, and if I take life of others uh, to others instead of uh, uh, instead of protecting others' life, then am I protecting myself? So this is like interdependent. Buddhism, the Buddhist practice is always uh, giving benefits to oneself as well as to the others. It is when one person is practicing it, practicing the for sublime virtues, that is beneficial to the others, as well as also that is the way that you can spread it by example, right? That's the one. Sometimes we think that actually at one point, one time, the Buddha said that if well, some people say that, oh, I am very kind, I am very calm, I am very compassionate, but other people come and make me angry, and then I act and I harm others. Where was that anger? Well, did other people brought that anger and implanted that anger in me? No, actually, what because of their action, my anger came out of me and then started acting. So that I have to develop this my skills, my sanity, just practicing that four foundations of mindfulness. Is when I watch my mind, okay, all the thoughts that are negative coming, that all the thoughts are negative that are coming, and also all the thoughts that are positive coming, I neutrally watch those. I make an inventory of those, and then I recognize, okay, you are there. I am not trying to push away, and I am not trying to grab it either. That way, okay, see how we practice compassion to all these thoughts, all these other actions, other feelings, other sensations. Then by going into his extreme views, then what happens? We are violent in the principles of compassion. The whole world can be, even your the compassion is part of, it's a meditation. And also compassion, when you go into the Eight Noble Path, just look at the okay, when your verbal, when you watch your verbal actions and physical actions, then those are always samma kammanta, right action, samma vacha, samma kammanta, samma ajiva, right words, rightful words, or the, and and also rightful actions, and also rightful livelihood. When we live this, what happens, that the well, we live a compassionate life too. And just go into the other two that we didn't mention, Samma Ditti and Samma Sankappa, the right view, clear view, and also all the well, right thoughts. You see that we have the Pali words as in the Nekkhamma Sankappa, Vyapada Sankappa, Vihimsa Sankappa. Nekkhamma is the just going away from all these extreme kind of practices, like our senses, whatever are needed, we use. Actually, we just take our to take care of our needs, but not take care of our wants. Also, we be watchful, we be mindful that our needs, not our needs, just go beyond, and then we don't want our wants to be our needs. In other words, so that's it. That is also help how you practice compassion. And in the thoughts, when we take the next one, that the more from going from there, that the not having ill will in us, not having ill will, and also not having violent actions in violent thoughts in us. Then you see that all this violence come, what we call what is the opposite of compassion coming. It is initiating in us that the mental actions when outside of us, other people may not notice. Maybe we are very good at hiding our thoughts within ourselves, but at the same time, what happens is that these actions then in the mind slowly will come out through our mouth as words, or also act with our hands and body to the then what happens in our actions is that it's always becoming that when we are not mindful, it is going to be harmful action, violent action. So this violence can be is very hard. Sometimes culturally, we justify those the violent actions, and we say that, oh, that is how we do it, and that is how that someone well is done in this country, in culture, in this religious belief system. But also we have to be aware that we cannot completely completely be away from this and start accusing the others. Others are doing this, not I am. So that's one thing. And so, well, by developing compassion, then there is a stage that we can go. What Buddha said, that the compassionate, when we practice this compassion, what happens is that then finally we can, when we develop compassion, we can liberate our mind by compassion. That is how we make this compassion becomes a Buddhist goal, because our ultimate goal is to liberate ourselves, or nibbana, right? To extinguish this fire, right? So nibbana, then that is our goal too. So that is so that live a life of compassion. And also just to summarize this, that maybe we bring all these great compassionate thoughts, actions, verbal and physical, from last life. Some people are naturally very compassionate. Some people have to be taught that. So it doesn't matter that what you don't know, you have to learn. If you know already, you can practice and also teach. So these, and also please remember that the Buddha's Eighth Noble Path is a compassionate path, and Buddha's the four foundations of mindfulness, that is compassionate path too. So finally, that we want to liberate ourselves, and we want to help others to liberate. So this is a practice that is great. It can be developed in you, in your um, well, in your workplace, in your home, wherever you live, in your community. Then be a magnet of practicing compassion wherever you go. That is, I think, if we live a compassionate life, this world is going to be wonderful. So, well, so far, thank you very much. I think I have spoken enough here. So let us go into the next part of it.
Okay, we thank Bhante Sutadhara Thera for that very excellent sharing. Okay, here we have some questions posted online for us. We'll put it up on screen for Bhante and everyone to view it. Okay, our audiences are still welcome to post additional questions under our Facebook comment sections.
If we practice compassion without applying wisdom, evil people will take advantage and bully us. Does Bhante agree compassion must go hand in hand with compassion, especially dealing with others who may abuse our compassion? It is this is actually coming out of our fear. Then practicing our compassion doesn't mean that we should open all the prisons and free all the people who have done all these very bad things and release them to society. No, I don't agree with that. I don't recommend that. There are certain people we should keep away for their protection as well as for others' protection, others' security, and for their own security. And also, we have a duty to teach them, rehabilitate them. Buddhism doesn't recommend killing people or capital punishment. Just keep them away from the rest and rehabilitate them. That is our way of practice. If someone is doing harmful action, always we have to prevent that person. There is a legal system in a country, and always if the rule of law is there, that is the will of the people in that country, and that is how we manage this compassion. We are not trying to bully the other person. We are not trying to take like maybe cut limbs or do any physical harm or any more mental harm. Many people who are doing all these bad things, they had a very bad maybe a very bad childhood. They are they do all these bad things because of that they are very bad experiences. They have a damaged mind. So we have to fix that by helping them. When we do keep them in that kind of environment, separate environment, it is not to revenge. We are not revenging. We are keeping them to protect themselves from harm doing, right? And the same way, with in other words, we practice that like our little children, we always prevent them from well, making harm to themselves and to making harms to others too. So that is how we handle it. I'm not well, but number one is that to practice compassion, we have to take away that fear. But fear cannot be taken away until you practice loving kindness and compassion too. But this is a very large, very big topic. But I took just extreme end of society, that putting all the people who have done crimes, uh, spend some time and rehabilitate them in those prisons or wherever. It can be done in so many ways. I know that in your countries, wherever you are coming from, that there is a system. So uh, we have to support the our local systems uh, to keep that rule of law there, and then from there we continue our practice. Also, there is compassion must be practiced with wisdom, especially dealing with strangers or our enemies. They may take advantage of our compassion if we do not apply wisdom. Does Bhante agree? Yes, that is what actually I have been. I agree that compassion is with wisdom too. That is why I say that this part of I put it into this whole large picture of Eight Noble Path, because Eight Noble Path is your how you transform your personality, and to have also how you help others to transform their personality. Bhante, earlier you mentioned that four Brahma Vihara must be practiced together. How are we able to practice the higher Brahma Vihara like Upekha if we are still at the beginner or novice level? Actually, it's a very good question that I wanted you to ask. That what Upekha is doing. If you see that when we take like just extreme case, look at that we hear some people who have done a lot of harmful actions, horrendous crimes towards others, kill people and harm people, break their bones. It's and but they practice. They become very loving mothers or loving fathers at home. Why it is like that? You see that the upekha is not there for them. If when you take upekha away, what happens is that you choose only certain people. I take care of. Only my people I take care of. My family I take care of. But the upekha is that equanimity is when we have equanimity only, we can practice this compassion to all. If not, there are, well, you see that only our group of, if our group is all safe, there is a, well, you don't need, well, I don't need to be aware of others' welfare. In our village or in our family, okay, if I am safe, I don't care anyone else. If my child has a good school, I don't care all the where other kids go. So in that way, actually, we think because we don't have equanimity. Equanimity is must be there to practice all the others, unless it becomes very private. Upekha, it makes it universal. Bhante, is Karuna, compassion, similar to pity, sympathy, or even empathy? Actually, the pity, all these have some proportion of maybe people think that there is compassion, but compassion is actually that if you take that famous definition about it, like when you see others suffering, you get the same suffering in there, and then act to take away that suffering. So you become part of that suffering, and then you help them to get away that suffering. That is our healing process. Actually, it is practicing compassion is a healing process. Just by being pity, just practicing, just say pity. Oh, then next is like, okay, what can I do? Well, they are just having the results of their own karma. That is our sometimes that is our way of ignoring things. But remember that we have to be very mindful about how we are thinking, our thinking process. That is why I brought that mindfulness into this. We have to identify every thought in our that comes to our mind, and see what is it. Sometimes compassion can come. We think it is compassion. We only or sometimes I just take this example that if I try to protect the animals that who are my pet animals, but some other animals I don't care. So that is why that with wisdom, mindfulness, all these must be there. Is this real compassion, or just I just have sometimes even and sometimes I have seen some people when the animal is very fluffy and nice, and with nice hair, everything, they are good. But when they are sick, you don't look at them. It's the same thing in the family too, in our own life too. That when someone gets older, sometimes we don't treat them nice either. But this is actually again bringing that equanimity to our thinking, our practice of compassion. So compassion is very much needed. Then how can we be self-compassionate when we have bad thoughts in our mind but we do not act on it? Actually, that is again bringing our mindfulness into this. What we do is that bad thoughts are bad thoughts, but what we do when we sit down in our meditation, we just recognize them. When we recognize the bad thought, what happens? That we are not trying to say bad thought, oh, get away. No, just more like we look at when we watch it okay, bad thought is like a burglar, right? That coming into us, and then okay, when we just turn on the light, then the burglar will run away. Our light is the developing awareness. When we see it as a harmful thought and then harmless, okay, what is the opposite? Is harmless thought. So that is how we practice it. It is not blame to you, putting blame on you. even for your own faults, you have done it, and you have to know, yes, it is not a right way to do things. I lost my mindfulness there. So, but I don't blame myself. But there is only way that I can correct myself is that, make a strong determination not to repeat it. And also, whatever the damage that I did, if I can replace that with my positive actions, or if someone is harmed, I can apologize and I can do something to bring that harm, like mend that harm somehow, some way. So that is how we practice it. How can soldiers have compassion for their enemies when during war soldiers must kill their enemies? Is compassion practical during wars or when we have to kill to survive? Actually this is how we let certain well, the war is a mass like production of violence in individual minds into a social thing. War shouldn't be there. Anyone who goes to war comes with damaged mind, damage. Not only, sometimes we see only the people who come without limbs, and we give some piece of metal and say that, okay, you are a hero. But after some time, we don't remember them. uh, we will see them walking on the street, talking to themselves, and we will just start accusing them. Oh, those people went to war and killed people, and then now look at them. They are reaping their own harvest. But really, who sent that person to the war? Well, as a country, all people are responsible for that, sending those kids to war. It shouldn't be there. We should create a life, not we should create a world free of war. That is a higher goal, I know. But individually, like even a soldier, look at like in the war, that soldiers' stories, how they treated sometimes their own enemy. Actually, they are not fighting their individual war. They are fighting because they were asked to go and fight for. Well, we say that we teach them as okay, we give them a gun and or any other arm. We say, okay, you go and kill the other person to protect your country. I think this is a completely a different, like very distorted view of world from the point of any humane way of looking. So actually, I consider the soldiers are heroes. I am not telling that the soldiers are doing a bad thing. Soldiers are not doing their own personal grudge against the other person. If you talk to soldiers, did they have anything against them? Probably in the process, if the other person was coming and shooting to the other, then probably there may be anger. But it's very different, difficult. But really, this current reality in our world is that we have to accept it is as a fact in the world at the moment. But always our duty is to work towards to free the world from violence, uh, from all kind of wars, all kind of harmful actions. But even a soldier in the field, if you talk to them, they will tell you how many compassionate actions they made, even though they were doing a very artificially put some responsibility into them. Do we need to be a vegetarian to have complete compassion for animals? Does eating meat mean that we have not understood or applied total compassion in our daily life? It is that being a vegetarian is a good thing. I am not telling it is bad. What I say is this: don't take the being vegetarian as something that you should practice as a precept. Into some extent, it is okay to go on, but while practicing the precept, if you are thinking of okay, well, I really love to have a piece of meat for my meal, and I cannot do it because of this precept. It is not the right way of practicing precept. But well, uh, as so far, it is a process always. You can start somewhere and then reduce it. And I know that some people are not eating certain kind of meat, certain kind of fish, or maybe certain kind of all this. I am telling at least it is good. I am not telling it is perfect, but you are into the process, you are walking in there. And little by little, one day you will come to a point that when you see a piece of meat or fish on your plate, your mind start looking at it as a, oh, this is part of the body of someone who lived. Until that moment, you will not be a complete vegetarian, I think. So the practice should be done that way. Pity is an emotional response to a troubled situation. Compassion is a much more positive response arising from wisdom, isn't it? I agree, totally agree with this. That pity is, I say that pity, earlier also I mentioned, pity is not really the compassion, but there is some maybe little, well, some portion in there, but the compassion is a virtue you develop with wisdom. It's true. Compassion, and these are virtues you practice and you see, and you practice it to each other. But just by being pity, it is, you can easily avoid it too, without moving into the further action. But well, sometimes people cry over someone else's suffering, and then totally you can forget it too. But if you develop compassion as a virtue, then slowly you just develop that empathy through. That's number one. And from empathy, you can move into more action. Bhante, I saw you teaching yoga. Can I join your yoga class? Of course. Well, I am not regularly teaching the yoga class. When our teacher is not there, I just sub the class. But I am teaching few yoga classes on Zoom to some kids and some adults too. If you send me your email address, I will I will include you there too. How can mindfulness help in applying compassion in our daily life? Mindfulness is like water. Then we have to swim. We have to have water, right? So mindfulness means actually we have a very somewhere we have divided this time into three: past, present, and future. The past is our memory, future is our projection. But really, what we are doing at the moment is the real experience in our life. So when we bring our attention into this moment, then we can see what is going on, really. All the connections there. That is how when we bring my attention into this present moment, and then when I am communicating with you, only I can see you. If not, if I am thinking something else and sometimes coming back, it's like that I close my eyes for some time and open my eyes and see. It's the mindfulness is bringing attention into the present moment. When you bring attention into present moment, you think, you see it as a whole. You are not just interpreting it in other way. So that is how I look at mindfulness, helping to develop compassion. It's interrelatedness coming into action when you are mindful.
Bhante, that's about all the questions we have for today. Thanks for the excellent reply and answer from Bhante and from our audiences. Okay. So before we conclude, we would like to invite Bhante to share the merits accrued today with all the devas and our departed loved one. Okay.
Okay, thank you all, and thank you, Brother Eric, for helping with this and practicing this great compassion. So let us dedicate all these merits to our all the divine beings, all the guardian angels and deities, and also we invite all our departed friends and relatives to share these merits and bring uh, all the needs of their life in abundance, and also all devas, deities, okay, enhance all the riches in their life and bless all of you, all of us, to have a better life, better life, harmless to ourselves and harmless to others. So let us share merits. Akasattha ca Bhummattha Deva Naga Mahiddhika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Sasanang Chiran Rakkantu Desanang Chiran Rakkantu Mangsada Tvangsada Idang Vo Nyati Nang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatio Idang Vo Nyati Nang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatio Idang Vo Nyati Nang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatio Sabbitio Vajjantu Sabbarogo Vinasatu Mate Bhavatantarayo Sukhi Digahiko Bhava. May all obstacles be away from your path. May all ailments cease. May no danger come to you. May you have a happy and long life. Thank you.
Now we have come to the end of our Dhamma sharing. On behalf of Buddhist Vihara, we would like to take this opportunity to extend our highest thanks to Bhante Sutadhara Thera, also to our generous sponsor, and to all our dedicated audiences who joined us today. May all beings be well, peaceful, and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.